I've been making videos for years, and sometimes, somewhere along the way, I've solved so many problems that I forget that there were problems after time. Like, I've solved so many that I've forgotten. There's like audio routing, drawing on the screen, teleprompters, immersive presentations, remote cameras. Today I'm going to show you how difficult everything used to be, just so that I can show you how easy it is now. Hi, this is Square's TV App Lab number 123, where I show you how to use the tools I've created to look better on video. Do I look okay on video? I don't know. I've got the big mirror. I'm in a completely unfamiliar space. I'm on the Osmo mic. I'm in a bedroom in a house. I thought this angle looked okay. I've got this like old lady's bed table that I've got everything set up on, because I thought I want to do kind of a wide shot for a change. But yeah, I might turn this. I might turn the big light on. I might have this one on. I think this maybe does, even though there's a lot of light coming in from the window. I think this is okay. I think I might prefer it like this. So are we actually seeing stuff? Yes. Okay. Just checking the thing. So yeah, I've been right up to the wire today. Which is, it's nice that I can be up to the wire, but I was like frantically for the last 5 minutes just trying to make sure everything was set up, and I knocked the iPhone off the table twice, so thank goodness these Apple devices are made well. But anyway, I'm Michael Forrest. I make video, pencil, shoot, QCam presenter. So it's just me designing, coding, making videos, live streaming, and talking to you guys. It's like it's a lot of context switching. So we'll start with some updates. So basically, as I said, I'm in Italy. So I covered actually a lot of what I was doing last week on the channel in a video with just an update talking about how much troubleshooting and performance challenges I've just been trying to really get that initial. I think my mic is perhaps a teeny bit loud. I wonder if I can come down a little bit. I'm seeing some peaks. Just get that first launch experience of QCam feeling more solid and perfect, So just it's nice to finally be able to get to that kind of thing. So, but it's honestly not the most fun thing. But I did get to spend a bit of time today on QCam 4, which half of that is just rebase, like sort of bringing in all the changes I've made for the real one, bug fixes, onto the new branch, which is all different. Without like breaking all the other work I've done. So I did that, and I've been really like tidying up how the scripts open, I've like my hand is like between picking up a baby and like like he's just really like hammering my joints recently. He's getting heavy. Also, if I have like stuff on me, it's because he's really been snotty this week. So there's just like everything is just covered in like a gunge at the moment. Let me make sure I've got my chat up, because obviously I don't have my big teleprompter rig with me today, so I have to work a little bit harder to make sure I don't miss stuff. I've got shoot running over here with the teleprompter, but I actually think it might be a little bit. I need to change the font to be a bit smaller so I can fit more on, because I think I made some quite big cards. But yeah, so my week is I've just been like working in my partner's family home in Milan, trying to make some progress on stability stuff, because I'm just desperate to get to the next fun features, get the new video pencil updates out, get the new start getting a new beta for QCam that shows some of the more UI design changes. Now that I've spent all this time on the render pipeline, I now, all this time I've just been waiting to get back to all these UI fixes and improvements I want to make as well, and just like think about how to make it feel like less of a heavy thing and just feel a bit more like just sort of a bit lighter and breezier and happier and more fun. Shall I come in? I'm going to zoom in. I'm a bit low in the frame now. Okay, so I'm just going to give you what I promised now, which is 5 video production problems I forgot I solved. So the great thing about solving a problem is you can forget about it. And I've solved a lot of problems, as I say, with the apps I've made. So I actually find it a little painful to go back to how complicated things used to be compared to now. And it's always a bit of a, should I make a video about how complicated this thing is, or can I just show how easy it is now? But sometimes I think you just need to see the compare and, the before and after pictures just to really appreciate how much easier things are. But and also you might still be facing some of these problems, and you might not know that I fixed them yet. So I'm taking a deep breath and going back to the past to open up some old wounds, so I can compare and contrast, in the hope that maybe I can rescue you from something that you're doing in a very painful way. So one is audio routing. So I used to need a convoluted audio hijack patch and audio loopback setup requiring all sorts. So we can sort of take a look at this here. So I've sort of looped it round. Just give me a chance to get Video Pencil set up. Should we go for virtual green screen? Oh no, it doesn't like it. Oh no, here we are. I'm virtual green screened, kind of. Oh no, sorry, I was looking at the wrong preview. So what I have here is basically what if we just pause it here and sort of come back to if we come to to this, right? So we were recording a podcast on FaceTime, right? I'm just skeptical that my video is coming in at full speed, so I'm going to go back to this. There was a bug with Shoot that I just fixed. So I was doing a podcast with my friend Ivanka on FaceTime, or we'd use different things depending. And so the first thing that was difficult was you have to capture that application audio. To capture the application audio involves installing Audio Hijack, which puts sort of basically bypasses some system security features in order to be able to capture the audio from an app. This was a few years ago. So you'd already have that on your system, but that at least let you capture the audio and sort of take that in, right? So then I've got a volume control on here, and then I've got my microphone here, and that has a volume control on it. So yeah, microphone also has a volume control, and then I've got this little mixer here. And then that I'm sort of putting through a little just peak limiter thing, stop it from getting too loud because they're mixing now. And then some sort of rudimentary monitoring, peak RMS monitoring, and then that would go to a virtual mic cable, right? So that's going to this virtual audio cable called Black Hole, which then sort of lives in this. Maybe I didn't include the frame that shows the next thing, but that then goes into a scene in OBS, which I would then, it was like a sub scene so that I could put the audio stuff in and us together, and so that it didn't sort of come through to all the different scenes. But so I have to add that scene to all the things. Meanwhile, so that I can hear through my headphones, this is the headphone output. I've got to take a feed of just the FaceTime window, boost that because I couldn't really hear it properly if I didn't do this, and then bring that into my headphones. So I'm and then have this optional monitoring so I can hear everything together. But that would be distracting usually because my microphone, I don't want my mic to be coming to my headphones. So it's just a lot to think about when you're just trying to have a chat about the state of the world, isn't it? I've got to set up this. Obviously, you set it up once, then you have to run it, make sure it's running. I just didn't like all these steps and things I had to remember to do. So now, this is the world I live in now, right? This is this is doing exactly the same thing as that convoluted setup. My microphone, which by default doesn't go to my headphones. FaceTime comes in, also by default doesn't go to the headphones because it's already on the system, so it's going to whatever the system output is. So that doesn't need to come through. But then both of those signals are being mixed into QCam's virtual audio, right? Audio output. which is then what's recorded or what is used in Zoom. So, or well, it's what's recorded in if or streamed if you're doing a podcast like this, right? I've got all these sensible, right, and then this metering here as well. It's not an RMS meter, it's a LUFS meter, which is a much better way of showing the loudness of an audio signal that actually takes into account like perceptual differences. And because it's more accurate, it means it can be, you can sort of summarize it more easily. It doesn't need to take up as much space. We can say, okay, that's green, we're good. So all I have to think about now, if I'm kind of like routing audio, is what's my mic, what am I sharing, and I can choose which headphones. The headphones don't have to be the same ones that my system is using. I can use a different set of headphones. That's all I'm worried about, right? So, it's so easy that I don't even worry about audio anymore. It's like I just don't even worry about it. It's just like a solved problem for me. Like I don't have to remember to fire up a separate thing, right? So that's the first thing. Second is overhead and remote control cameras, right? So I have a C stand. This is a C stand. This monstrosity, right, is I have this because I wanted to do overhead shots on some of my videos. So a YouTuber said like I should get one of these so that I can mount my Canon EOS 5D Mark III overhead. And it's such a heavy camera and the lens that you just need something super sturdy with like legs that go sort of like at a right angle so you can dangle something off it and then your desk is kind of here with whatever you're doing. And that was just like the way was the way to get the shot, right? So I'd run if we look back, like there would be then obviously like a cable running up, and I'd have a power cable running up. The camera's on there, kind of hanging down, and I can't see the back of it. Like I can't see the screen. So I've got my laptop here, right? So that's kind of taking the HDMI, so I can see a preview of it, but I can't like control it without like reaching my hand up right round to the camera. Oh God, what am I drawing here? I'm sort of reaching up, trying to see, sort of squinting at the laptop screen, trying to figure out what's going to come through. And I'm just going to make I need to, obviously, the thing I've learned today is I need it to be possible to remote change the text size on a phone that's a bit further away. So yeah, I even had to I had to install Magic Lantern on the camera, like some extra software on the camera just to stop it turning, because I couldn't reach it, but it turned itself off every 20 minutes otherwise. So I had to install some extra software. I bought this hardware remote control just so that I could because you sort of had to hold down the button to focus it. So then I'd got the remote control so I can move to the right distance and then hold down the thing and it focuses, right? So there was that to deal with. And then it was just a bit of, and actually, to be honest, like using that camera wasn't great for overhead shots because of the depth of field is not ideal, because you actually want a bit of a deeper depth of field for overhead stuff. I learned in time, right? So, and then, yeah, again, like I had to just jump up, get on a chair to adjust the settings all the time. So also getting the camera level was awkward and always a bit temporary. So you get it, so I have a special mount that you can tighten up and screw in and sort of get it level. But then, like, if you knock the stand or you touch something, it's like not level anymore. So I just needed, if I needed to move the stand, that was a bit of a pain. So I basically ended up building Shoot Pro webcam, partially to solve this problem. It's an iOS remote control camera app. So instead of getting out instead of having to get out that big stand, I can basically stick it on a selfie stick. It's literally, I'm using Shoot right now, directly into QCam. I'm using a cable because I find it's the connection's a bit better, and this is like some family internet router. So when it's plugged in with a cable, it's great. Like I think you'll find this is pretty great, right? There's no like NDI, there's no AirPlay. This is just the Qtenuity coming into QCam. And so you can just mount it, and then there's even a built-in level that looks like this. So you can see this is me like straightening up. I'm going to repair this car. This is me like straightening up the little car, straightening up the phone, so you can get it like perfectly orthogonal. So that's really handy with the grids feature in Shoot, and then you can control all the settings just directly from in QCam. So you see like it picks up Shoot, automatically brings it in as a camera, and then you get all the like the zoom and the focus settings. So I'm using it right now. So if you saw me adjusting stuff, I can like come in, like zoom in, zoom out, and that's just happening for us, right? So isn't that? I might even turn on face follow to sort of keep myself in the center a bit more. Oh, this is cool, isn't it? Let's do a bit of face follow. Is it face following? Should be. Anyway, I think it's going to do some weird stuff when we zoom out, so maybe I will turn off face follow. It's not so needed in the clean design age. So yeah, we can control settings remotely, and with Shoot, we don't need any cables. I mean, I don't mind a cable here and there, just to be sure the connection's going to be a bit more solid, but you don't need it. And especially if it's like a second camera, you just want to move it around freely, you can just do that. Or actually, AirPlay works really well if you've got an Apple TV and you want to use a big router or a big sort of A10 mixer or something like that. That's kind of good as well. But yeah, now if I want an overhead camera, I just stick my phone up on the stick and share it in QCam, and I don't even have to like plan it. I can just like grab Shoot, start it up. QCam finds it, hit the share bar. There's Shoot, right? Like, and I do that quite a lot. 3 is drawing. It is amazing the lengths you once had to go to draw on your webcam. Like, one technique involves connecting an iPad with an image editor loaded, making the background bright green, which is already pretty off-putting, right? And then you capture the iPad's output, feed that into Ecamm or OBS, and then key that on the green background to make the green transparent, stick that over the top of your camera, right? And then when you look at your iPad, you don't know where you're drawing. So really, it's cool that you can sort of go, it's funny that, a lot of the time you do want to draw white, and white against green isn't the most legible thing, but like just sort of to be able to kind of do that, which sort of gets you style points, but like you can't really say, oh, here's my laptop, because you can't see the laptop on the screen. Another technique involves a graphics tablet with a built-in screen. So like a Wacom one, and a piece of video keying hardware like an A10 MIDI. So this is what I'm talking about here. So, I had to like go and look at this again, even though it is supported by Video Pencil. I did have to go and look at it again. So what you do is you plug your camera, that goes into like input 1 of the A10. So this is a camera switcher with like 4 inputs and an HDMI and a USB output, right? So first thing you do, you plug the camera in, right? So that's what you want to draw on. Then you take an HDMI output from your laptop and you put that into another one of the inputs, right? So then you take the mixed output. So now you're taking this HDMI output and you're plugging that into the tablet. So the tablet is seeing like what the ATEM is seeing. And then, yeah, it's basically that this is now showing the ATEM's output, right? And this same output is also available as a webcam. So there's the USB connection. So in like OBS or Zoom or whatever, you're going to select this USB camera thing that it gives you. So this is going to be exactly the same as this, right? And that's what your camera is. And this is, I'm jumping ahead a bit with that picture because it's going to, at this point, it's going to be your face, right? Doing that, right? So if the ATEM was only being used as a switcher, then you'd be like, oh, I want camera 4, I want camera 1, I want camera 2, right? And I would just switch the camera to the one that you want. But we need to actually mix one source with another source. So this means we need to like open up the special ATEM software, which looks like this, and you sort of have to know about it, to basically key one source with another source. So we run a drawing app. I'm showing you Video Pencil. Video Pencil does support this. But basically, it needs to let you draw on a black background. You could use a green background if you love green, but I like being able to use the color green in my drawings. Like, I find it quite a useful color. So in this case, we take the camera input we select the camera input, which I think might actually be 4 in this example, and then there's some settings down here. It's a bit blurry, but you can basically create a Luma key on there, and you get 2 settings. You get the key source and the picture-in-picture source. and then sort of select both sources to be the same. And now, yeah, we're taking our laptop's second screen, which has like Video Pencil running on it. It can run on a Mac, basically, or you could run any big drawing tool that has a black background on that screen. You're using that source as a Luma key and the image from it. And the Luma key just means the black stuff gets removed and made transparent. And so now that is mixed with the camera, right? So now your drawing is going to be like mixed over the top of the camera. And because, so this gives you the ability to draw on the camera, but like if you want to do any screen sharing, you'll need to set up another source into the ATEM and like switch to that when you're doing a screen share. And like so it's maybe like another screen on the Mac, but then I guess, yeah, so you'd put it onto another screen on the Mac, but then how are you getting the HDMI in? You're going to need like another HDMI converter to sort of come into another channel on the ATEM. And then chroma key that with the Wacom screen. And you could sort of do it, but I mean, goodness, it's a lot of wires just to do something like that. Let me know if I'm a bit loud. Let me know if anyone's here. I don't know. So when I first created Video Pencil, I made it support this use case, as well as also providing NDI connectivity. So now with Video Pencil, it was possible to send an NDI output so you've got like your Ecamm Live, so you've got your face there. You could send like NDI, and that would go over to your iPad. Video Pencil could pick that up, and then it would send a different NDI feed back. Oops. So it would send a different NDI feed back, and this was the transparent layer. So anything you draw here could then be added as its own layer on top, and that would let you. That also, some people still do this. And video, it provides a transparent overlay with just the drawing, which as long as the layers are lined up and you don't mind the composite signal being fed back to the iPad, which means like whenever you press clear, like it doesn't clear straight away because it's still feeding back the mixed signal, so it sort of takes a little bit to clear, which I always found a bit distracting. And then like also like there's some like network stuff that you have to deal with NDI. And the biggest gotcha with that I found was if you do it over Wi-Fi, it works, and then as soon as you plug it into your computer, it like stops working, which you'd think it would work better if you plug it into your computer. And I had to like come up with this workaround thing. It just felt like sketchy, and they never fixed it. And it was like, I'm making my own thing, so I don't even bother with any of that stuff now. I'm using QCam as my webcam. So all I have to do is just grab my iPad and just launch Video Pencil, and it just does the rest for me, right? It finds it on the network, connects to it, it's sending the video signal back and forward. So all I have to do is like pick up my iPad and start drawing, right? QCam connects, and I can draw there. It gives a virtual camera, and so the audience, you can all see what I'm drawing. That just happens without me doing anything, right? And it works effortlessly with anything I'm sharing in QCam. So whether that's my desktop or a window or another camera, a picture or a video, it just like works with whatever I'm sharing. So you've seen all the stuff that I share, I can just see exactly where I am. I can draw on it. I can annotate it. Like all these things where I'm like sort of pointing at this, right? Like, what's this? How would you do that if it was just like a big green iPad screen? You just couldn't. So also it does stuff. You notice that it's like remembering the drawings I had on previous slides. So I'm sort of going backwards and forwards through time. So that's really handy as well. And I can also like zoom in. You saw me zooming in. So if I've got something on my computer, let me see if it lets me. If I'm sharing something, I can just like zoom in on that. I need to sort out the live camera stuff a little bit. But yeah, with Video Pencil and QCam Presenter, it all just works, right? Like I can see exactly where I'm drawing. I can say, look, this is here, this is here, this is here. Wow, here's me, look, right? And I just don't have to think about it. Number 4 is eye contact and remembering what to say, right? When I started making videos, I never really understand what makes you look natural on camera. So I'd like bring someone. So there's someone here that I'm talking to, making eye contact with, to try and make it feel natural. So this was a video I did like in 2012. I discovered that if you don't have footage of yourself talking to camera, then I had to like source B-roll. But like if I was making a video, like I just had to find footage for every second of the video because I didn't just have me talking to camera to cut away to. So if I could just write a script, talk to camera, that's going to give me a much easier baseline to work with than if I've got to like fill every second of the video with like motion graphics or like B-roll or footage or pictures or whatever. It ends up making it all take forever. And I think it's less engaging than if you could see me talking. So this was like my first attempt to speak on camera, but you see, like I still don't quite. I'm not quite looking at the lens. I don't know. Like you could sort of see, I didn't quite understand yet. I didn't really understand what I was doing. And then I sort of found out the secret, to doing this is to look directly into the lens, which I'm doing. Maybe I'm a bit off today because I'm on the phone. I'm not in a real teleprompter, but that's what makes it look natural. I heard someone say you have to picture the camera lens as somebody who likes you, right? Like just pretend you're talking, even though you're looking at glass and black, right? Like you got to pretend that is someone that likes you and you're just talking to a friend. It feels unnatural because it is. It's weird, but it does make it easier to produce the content you want to produce because now you've got this footage of you on camera and you can just bring in stuff to illustrate as you need it instead of having to illustrate every last point, right? But you still have to know what to say. So if you're looking down at your notes, then straight away you've broken eye contact. If you don't write anything down, you're just going to be like editing out filler words like and and sort of, which is what I always used to say. I probably still do. So you just be hours and hours on end, like editing out all these little words, and then you've got all these jump cuts, and it's just like it's not great. So when I wanted to get serious with a new podcast back in 2021 with Can You See My Screen, I was like, I need to remember this. I need to not look away from the camera. Literally, like I taped my intro to the bottom of the screen of the camera just so that I didn't forget it because I was like practicing it, learning it, and I was tweaking it a little bit as we went on. So it was just that's no way to live. So my first teleprompter that I got was this cheap little thing off Amazon. So it was like maybe this. Well, what did it look like? It was kind of really shoddy thing, but basically you could put your phone in it. So there's glass there, and then there's like a hole in the back, basically, where you put the camera. So, I didn't have like I didn't want to buy some app, but I made a teleprompter app for myself, which hold on. So I made a little app for myself that let me copy in a script and then advance through that using the volume control on my head. So I had my Bluetooth headphones. I made a little thing. I could like click my Bluetooth headphones and that would advance the script. So I could just like hold that. I had a little clicker. But so now I could record directly into my camera, and that gave me this, which came out pretty well. But like I'm just seeing like the text, right? I'm not seeing anything else. So I'm still having to like imagine that the camera lens is a person. And so then after a conversation with someone that was using something else I'd made, I built this app called BeatSheet so I could edit the scripts on my Mac rather than doing this convoluted thing where you have to get it onto the iPhone somehow. Copy and paste works, that can be okay, but I wanted to type with a keyboard, And so that was a Mac app that would then let's go purple. So you'd have the Mac there. I've actually got a Mac in shot. So the Mac would then send it to like a little iPhone app, which would just have not really illustrate. It would just be like an app with like the text of like the card basically, and that just worked with Bluetooth in the original BeatSheet. And then someone asked if I could like add a transparent window to BeatSheet with the teleprompter on it, because apparently they had a teleprompter connected to their Mac, and then that shows up as a screen. So then if they had then they could just put whatever they wanted onto that screen, and if they could just put the teleprompter stuff as a transparent layer on top of that in a window, then that would sort of give them a lot of flexibility. So I hadn't really heard of that. But actually putting a Mac window in your teleprompter opens up a world of possibilities. You can put your Zoom window in the teleprompter, and now you can make eye contact with whoever you're talking to, right? Instead of just looking at their chin, which is what you usually do when you're looking at the laptop screen, because the camera's there, their face is like down here, so you're just like looking kind of down the whole time. This means you can actually look them in the eye, and that can make such a difference. And you don't have to picture the camera lens as somebody who likes you. You can actually talk to someone who likes you. That's quite handy, isn't it? And of course, that's in video production. It's if you actually like yourself, then that's a really good thing. You can put yourself on the camera lens and see yourself, and that works. But anyway, like I learned to like myself a little more, and then a notification. I have not put myself into the right focus mode on my phone. I learned to like myself a little more and got a bigger teleprompter that I could put an iPad in, and this worked with the Duet app to become an extra screen that could be flipped so that it's not, because the thing is you can't just plug an HDMI, you can't just put a screen in a teleprompter because it's backwards. You need either a special screen that can flip it so that it's forwards again in the mirror, or you need an app or something that can do it. So Duet does do that, and there's like a secret $20 a year purchase that's like much cheaper that gives you what you need and not all the other stuff. So yeah, it's not simple to do it, but well, it wasn't. But eventually I got tired of all the extra software and hardware and camera stands, and I got myself an Elgato prompter, which now just hangs gracefully from the zoom lens attached to my Canon R6, which I'm obviously not on today. But yeah, it's just now my teleprompter is just always there, just ready to go. Like I can use it as a screen sometimes. It's a bit small. I think if I had a XL, like if enough people get QCam, like maybe I can get myself an XL and actually use it as a proper monitor. But yeah, like it's just there, and so that's like an appliance now. And then as an aside, right, like when it comes to teleprompters, like I was never really interested in these iPhone apps that do AI auto scrolling, because I mean that stuff seems a bit too flaky to use in a performance, especially if I want to go off script sometimes, or change the order in which I say something, like which I always do. I just prefer, I don't like the tail wagging the dog, I don't like the machine controlling me. I want to control the machine, and the easiest way to do that is like a clicker, essentially, next. And that lets you control the flow of the presentation much more naturally. And so, like a news reader, like I know that people, it sort of feels like teleprompters should scroll, but that's only because a newsreader has a teleprompter that is being scrolled by someone else who is keeping it in sync with what they're saying and can go back and can go forwards if necessary. But if it's just you on your own, then like that next thing is just much more effective, much less prone to errors, and like it's just a single click, and there's loads of ways you can do it. Today I'm just doing it with the right arrow key on my keyboard, right? And then just don't get me started on Elgato's scripting app, by the way. I just can't imagine who'd want to use that thing. Like, so, I wanted a better editor than the ones that come with the stuff as well, because I want keyboard shortcuts and I want to be able to drag and drop the cards to rearrange them, which you just can't do on the Elgato one, for example. But yeah, now I don't worry about anything. QCam Presenter handles all my teleprompter needs, from writing a script to recording and live streaming. It puts my speaker notes in my eyeline along with my program preview or Zoom call. So this is just like, I don't have to worry about the teleprompter situation anymore. Eye contact, scripting is just like all handled in QCam and like an Elgato prompter. And then if I don't have my big teleprompter with me, which I don't today, I can just use Shoot on my phone. So it's actually showing me the QCam preview. I can see exactly what's going out on my phone screen in the distance, and it's showing me the teleprompter right next to the phone's camera. So it's like it's maybe a little bit less precise than the camera lens being right over the middle, because it does have to sort of go over to the side. But like, I don't know, what if you think this seems okay, then it's a winner, right? And then not everything needs the big equipment anymore. You can just bring a camera. Also, like something to mention is I've also got it on the iPad. So sometimes if I just want to remind myself what to draw on the iPad, I can put some notes down here as well. So and it's just really flexible. It'll just sort of, if you had multiple Shoot cameras, it will send it to all of them, and you can sort of change which camera you're looking at and still see the teleprompter. So that, stuff like that is really cool. So the last thing is immersive presentations. So I do not like the way that um, let's just hide this. So I don't like the way that presentations work over screen shares in video conferencing software. You can see someone's entire desktop. You see their PowerPoint window with like all the ribbons, thumbnails, and buttons. Or you can see their deck. You can see sort of see their thing, and you can see what their slides are going to be before they've shown them. It's so messy and busy, and you can see like the pictures of their dog on the desktop, and you see they've got too many icons on there. It's just like it just doesn't feel professional. It doesn't feel. I don't know. It doesn't feel video to me. And then like once they press present on the presentation, they just like disappear into the corner. So now everyone's screen is taken over with their desktop, and then they've sort of gone to this little window or like that separate Zoom window, and you just never see them again for the next half hour, right? Um, so not to mention that when they use bullet points, I just saw this recently. Like someone's like, "Here's the Zoom call." It's this white screen, and they've got like one bullet point, like up here, and we're just all staring at that while they talk for 5 minutes. And it's just like, why is it like this? Why is it like this? It sucks. So I was watching someone give a talk like this, recently, not too long ago, and at the end of the call, I was like, if I've just been listening to this person for half an hour. They've said a lot of interesting stuff, but if I met them in the street, I would not recognize them. And that's crazy. Like you're being a thought leader in a big Zoom webinar, and like no one remembers what you look like because you were like screen sharing your one bullet point for 5 minutes. And that actually literally came true. So I went to this local business meetup, and I was talking to someone, and I realized, and then they said, oh, they'd done this thing. I was like, oh, I was on that. That was you presenting. I knew it. Like I knew I wouldn't recognize you. I didn't actually say it, but I thought it because I didn't want to like, it's kind of a thing. It's like, you're a bad presenter. No, I just want to eat. But I wish, how do I show people like that there is a better way? And that's what I'm going to show you now. Like when I first saw someone bring a presentation directly into their camera, I was like, this is how you do it. So this is David Paskin, right? He's on camera. He's got his nice backdrop. And then there is the content right in line with what he's, with his face, right? And so when he first showed me this on our podcast, he sort of showed the behind the scenes thing, and it's like literally there's like two computers here. So he's got this ATEM thing going on. He's got like one computer going into one input that has the presentations on it. So this is like the presentation computer. And then he's got another computer with Ecamm Live running on it. There's me. He's got like 3 stream decks. So it's like he's got a teleprompter up here as well. He's got like another monitor there. So it's like, and then an iPad down there as well. And you can see like I think that might have video. I don't think Video Pencil existed at that point. But like, he's got, these to do this effect, he's got to have these green backgrounds in a presentation. And it's like, we're back to that again, like keying out green, and you're just looking, the green is literally like reflecting from your face and making you look ill, right? Because everything's like glowing green. All this stuff was keying in the ATEM. I don't know if he was keying it in the ATEM or if he was keying it in Ecamm or what, but that's a lot of stuff just for a bit of text on the screen, isn't it? Like I just want to show some text, maybe change the text. Like, and I've got to go and make a PowerPoint presentation, make sure all the backgrounds are green. I can't really see what it looks like properly until I key it with my A10. So when I first copied this technique, like I ran a keynote presentation on the same machine, green background, and then I also tried the live camera feature in Keynote as well, because like just to sort of maybe take a little bit of confusion out of the mix. But I didn't like the green screen approach because you're just not seeing that final composition when you're working. You're just seeing this green mass, and then you sort of put it on. And and also like sharing a window, and you got to crop out the chrome and all this stuff. And then I didn't like the live camera stuff in Keynote because it just added this extra audio delay, and then I'm sort of like dealing with I can't get my mic perfectly in sync anymore because there's 2 different possible delays on the system, and so that just added some complication. And Keynote doesn't really like working like this either. It's kind of assuming you're on a projector, right? It's assuming you're on a screen, an external screen, a TV in a meeting room. So when you're just trying to like capture a window, it's got like chrome on it and rounded edges, and it's just not great. And all of this, just again, just to put a bit of text into my webcam feed, just like, hello. I just want to see it. Like I can do live titles. Hello. Um, hello. Works the third time. Have I turned it off? Hello? Hello? Why doesn't this work? Yeah, I hate that. Um, and I didn't want to use Keynote, so I added a feature to BeatSheet, which which was controlling my teleprompter. And I was like, well, why don't I just add that's controlling my scene transitions. So I'm just going to add a new title field into the cards in that, to my teleprompter cards, and then send an NDI signal from that and bring that into Ecamm. So now I've just got a transparent overlay. It's synced with my teleprompter controls. And then I sort of added some basic animated bullet points. So you could sort of like go bullet 1, bullet 2, and a title. And that was actually like got you a pretty long way. But yeah, it's quite limited. And then at the time I had another app, I mean, it's still in the App Store, called Video Pencil Camera. And this was to sort of overcome that NDI nightmare by just giving you a Mac app with a virtual camera that would connect to Video Pencil, choose your webcam, mixes it in. Like you don't have to like set up some software and get the layers the right size and deal with the lag and the synchronization and stuff. It like compresses the signal. It doesn't just do it like in full fat video. It works over USB properly. So I built that thing, and it just helped you avoid all that complexity. But like I was like, well, why don't I'd be quite cool if that brought in the NDI feed from BeatSheet automatically. So I did that, and then I was adding like screen share. I was like, what else do you want to record? This was long before QCam, basically. So I started adding screen sharing and stuff. I was like, yeah, you want to draw on different things, don't you? So that was doing like bringing in titles from BeatSheet, bringing in NDI from Video Pencil. And one day I just realized that these two apps needed to become one app called QCam Presenter. So that's that was kind of the journey. I had the thing that talks to the iPad and gives you a webcam. I had the thing that controls your teleprompter and like lets you add titles and things. Let's know that we don't need multiple apps talking to each other. Let's have one app that deals with all that stuff and gets out of your way, and you don't have to remember to find. Because like this is the biggest thing with video a lot of the time. Is like you've got to run so many different pieces of software to do anything, and so like I just wanted one thing that I fire up, and then just like go with it, So something, I wanted to power the teleprompter. I wanted to provide a virtual camera connected to Video Pencil. And now when I want to add a bit of text, right, or graphics or something, you can just select like a slide. I've got a few different examples here. You can just like add in, like build a slide in QCam really easily. And it's just a no-brainer. So I just don't even have to take my hands off the keyboard to add a card. It's just all in one app, just controlled with one button, right? That's QCam. So in summary, like the great thing about solving problems with technology is that they disappear and you forget about them. You don't have to do anything. You just become a more capable human being, right? Like, oh, now that's solved. I don't have to think about it anymore. Now I just get more ambitious, right? Because those basic things, right? And what were those? Like audio, like I don't have to scratch my head about audio anymore. Like QCam handles the mixing, metering, the mix minuses, and it doesn't look any more complicated than a Zoom window where you select your mic, right? We've got remote cameras. So I've put too much on this card, so it's too big for shoot. So I can stick my phone anywhere. I can get it level. I can put my teleprompter on it. But yeah, that's even, I can control the ISO, all the settings there, the zoom. Drawing with Video Pencil, it just works with QCam. I don't have to think about it. It's just there always. It's just available whenever I need it. Even if I didn't think I was going to need it in that call, if my iPad's to hand, I'll just grab it and there I go. With the teleprompter, like eye contact, remembering what to say, solved with the teleprompter. QCam lets me write and run the scripts, and it works with my big teleprompter rig or with just my iPhone. So that's like really brilliant. And then presentations, QCam lets me create these immersive presentations. Or like this style I find a bit more predictable, but we can still do the transparent stuff. But I ended up like, I need a style that is a bit less, prone to someone putting text on top of a screen share, for example, which I was seeing. And I was like, okay, let's this is the style that kind of keeps you safe. You see it like moves me out the way. But yeah, like I can do all this stuff without adding any extra screen shares or video feeds or hardware or presenter controls. I can just do this all under one umbrella and just like run through it and deliver a live stream like this with on embarrassingly short preparation time. Right. And I always try and like, because I always want to do something else than come up with my live stream. So I spent all day on this. And then here we are, like in a completely different environment. I've got the teleprompter. We've got all this stuff going. John says, hi, Michael. Great to see you here. Great input and thanks for your wonderful ideas. Thanks, John. I would have pinned that. Oh, no, I can pin that. I can pin it. Where is it? I can't pin it. Why is it not pinning? I should be able to pin it, shouldn't I? Oh, it doesn't think I'm live. Okay, fine. No, it should have come through. Anyway, whatever. You can do everything I just described and also what I'm doing right now with QCam Presenter, and just like you can just go and download that right now. So, to summarize our day, the first thing I'll say is any questions. If you have got some questions, be quick because it's 5:46 p.m. I should probably get moving. I hear a toddler. But if you don't have any questions, just jump in. But if not, thanks for watching today. If you don't already have QCam, I'm doing like a code for you. Feel free to get a discount, 20% discount with this code, lab123. So you just go qcam.app/lab123. That's going to get you a 20% discount. Thanks for staying with me for this whole 45 minutes, and that's what I'm offering as a thank you. And then feel free to subscribe, come over to squares.tv/discord if you want to ask questions with the community there. I'm generally getting those messages. And yeah, thank you very much, and I will see you. And I forgot to add in the end stream automation, so I'm just doing this.